Hello and welcome to Watch Me Code. I'm Cameron Wajdani, and in this video we will design the switch component. You are watching the UI kit design series, and yesterday I have created a button component, so you can add a button component with couple of props to switch it between non-icon variant and OK email or whatever you want to show the message, and an error button as well. In today's video we will design the switch component, the very famous switch component you have experienced inside the mobile UI, that is inside the iOS and Android. So let's get started. But before continuing, if you have not liked the Watch Me Code Facebook page, then please like it. And if you have not subscribed to Watch Me Code YouTube channel, then please subscribe and hit the bell icon. So we need to go inside the comps and right click, create a new file, and let's call it switch.js. And inside the switch.js we will simply add RSF, and it will create a switch component for us. Perfect. Now we need to change it to a button, and we need to add so let's go and add a class name equals, and the class name will be switch, and give us another class of rel, and inside the props we need to add a rel class, and it will have the property of position relative. And for position relative, let me quickly close the button and switch to switch. Actually switch to switch, by the way. And let's go inside the switch, and I guess we are okay for now. So let's go inside the UI, and here we have our button component, and we will add switch. And for the switch, just add a switch, and we will add a width of 40 pixels and a height of 25 pixels for now, and just add a background of EEE. Just leave it for now, and we will switch to index. For our ZUZ index, it is not the index from the root, we are editing the index from the ZUZ. So just import switch from comps switch, and just add switch right here. And now if we can move to app, just quickly resize the sidebar, and quickly import the switch. Now we need to remove the buttons, or maybe just quickly comment it so that we can add it later to compile the whole UI for demonstration right here. So I need to add switch and save, and now we have a nice switch, which is actually a button right now. If we can quickly click on it, okay, so let's go inside the UI, and we need to add a button tag to outline to none, and save. And I guess we should just add cursor to pointer, save, and here we go. Now we need to right click, inspect, and just add a border of 0 pixels, a border radius of 50%, or maybe just 50 pixel is good. Change the width to 45, or maybe 50 for now, and a height of 28. 28 is good for now. Quickly change the background color to E6, and let's just copy and save it to UI.scss. Replace it with the current code. And we need to add and before we will use a content of empty string, and position will be absolute, and let's select the before right here and add a width of 28 pixels and height of 28 pixels. Give a background of FFF, and border should be E6, E6, and E6 solid. Now we need to add a border radius of 50 pixels and add top 50% and transform translate to 0 pixels and negative 50%, and it will move it to vertically middle of the button switch thing. And for the right we will use 0 pixels to keep it this way. We need to reduce the border radius to width and height to 26 is good, because we are using a border and it is taking almost 1 to 2 pixels. So let's keep it this way and copy and paste and save. Good. Now we need to change it to on and off on clicking. Like if I click on this switch, it should just move to the left side and turns to green. And I guess we should use a darker version for now. We can change it later. Yeah, perfect, because it is hard to see what is going on. So we need to just copy and add and dot switch on and add before, and for the background we will use the green. And by the way, we can use a universal variable for the green thing, that is right here. Just copy. This way we will be able to use a universal color values for the UI. So let's change a green, or maybe use a prefix of color green and change and add a value of the green, that is 19923A, and we will simply use $color green and save. Now we need to add $color green here as well. Now if I just inspect and add a switch on, it will have a color green, but we need to animate the background color, and for that by the way, we need the color green here as well. Perfect. And instead of right, we will just use right auto, and left will be 0 pixels. This way, when the switch is on, it will have the knob to the left side. Or maybe we should use, or invert it actually, to 0 pixels, and for the left we will use 0 pixels. This way, when the switch is off, the knob will be on left, and when we will click, and it changes its position from left to right and color to the green, that is the active color. So let's go inside the switch and use state, and we will add a const is active set active equal use state false. We will keep the state to inactive by default. And we will add plus parenthesis. We will add active switch on, otherwise an empty string. And on click we need an event, and set active should be not active to toggle inverted for the active. Now if I click, it will change its color to green, and if I click again, it will simply move back and forth and changes its position and class to switch on and off. But we need to animate the knob and the color. So instead of just using plain before thing, we need to add include anim, and the duration will be 0.15 seconds, And same will be for the duration. Now if I click refresh and click, it still moves very quickly, and we need to just keep left. And for the transform, we will change the transformation, because we are using the width of 50. We need to translate it to 22 pixels. So 22 pixels. Now if I save and reload, and if I click on this switch, it will animate back and forth. Perfect. Now instead of just adding the background color, we will add a box shadow. And inset of 0 pixels and 20 pixels, color green, and let's save. And for the box shadow, we have this nice box shadow, but for the animation, just copy and paste inside the button thing. And we need to change the gradient opacity to a solid one. So instead of just adding 3 values, that is 0x 0y and a gradient, I will add one more value to change it to solid. 0 pixel, save. And now if I reload and click, the opacity of the background of button is animated. Perfect. Just add a more delay to the animation for the button. Yeah, here we go. Now we have a nice animation for the background change, and actually we are creating the illusion for the background change, not just the background color. It is actually translating the box shadow. Perfect. And now we need to add an trigger event to know when the value is being changed. So let's add const on change equals props, and let's quickly add I guess we should just remove the ending tag and add the inline ending tag. And for the click, just change it to set active. And for on change, we will check on change if it even exists, and we will add on change not active. Save. And let's go back inside the app, and we will add on change. And for the on change, we will simply add value or whatever, because it is just true false value that is returning from the switch. So we can capture it with whatever parameter name you want to use, but for now just use checked equals console.log checked and save. Now if I reload, and inside the console, if I just click, it says it is active, that is true, and if I click false, it says it is inactive. And now we need to add a prop to pass the default value, that is props, or maybe just move it on top of the active constant, and use checked, and we will use checked or false. This way, if we have passed the default value, it will use that value, otherwise it will use false as a fallback value. So if I reload, it will keep false, but if I pass checked to true, it will change the default value to on. So now we have false, we have true, we have false, and we have true. And now we need to add another variant for the Android switch version or UI, and that is actually the material UI, which is being used by the by all the Google products, that is YouTube, Google, and Android operating system itself. So now we need to add, we should use, what should we use? Let's use UI to Android and save. And now we need to change, or sorry, check for the UI, and the UI is plus, we need to check for UI, otherwise empty. Then we will add switch plus UI and save. And now if we go and check, it is passing the class for switch Android. So for the switch Android, we will simply add dot switch Android and just add an ampersand before to include as a subclass, or it will check for both classes. So for the Android, just simply change the height to 20 pixels for now, and let's go and check if we can. No, we need to reduce little more to 14 is good, I guess. 14 pixels. And for the knob, I will use, and before width to let's go with 18 pixels and height to 18 pixels, and let's check if we are okay. No, we need to increase a little bit to something like 22 and 20 21 and 21 is good. And for the width, just reduce it to 45 pixels, because for the Android version it is using a smaller width than the iOS thing. Perfect. Now we need to go and check for the switch on, and we will use and dot switch on and before, and we will use this one and save. And now we have this nice switcher for the Android UI version. Perfect. Now we can just change it to iOS, and for iOS it is similar, like if you either add iOS and or if you does not add an iOS, it will just keep the default values. So let's quickly copy and paste, and just use Android for the two things, and just add a BR a couple of times to add a margin very quickly, And now we have this nice switch for the Android and iOS. Perfect. This is it for this video, and in next video we will design the next component. But before leaving, if you have not liked the Watch Me Code Facebook page, then please like it, and if you have not subscribed to Watch Me Code YouTube channel, then please subscribe and click the bell icon, and see you in the next video.